Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his friends that we call the Three Amigos. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing super awesome. It's Thursday, ready to have some fun. Let's do this.
Yeah, and Dion, how are you?
Howdy, I'm doing great. I'm ready for round one. And since I know we're going to be talking about Nick, I had to bring on today's sponsor for the video. This is Pomegranate Skull Vodka, because I know Matt is going to go off and I'm going to need to be able to drink through it.
There you go. Yeah, this video is definitely for Nick, and people around the know who Nick is. This is for you, Nick. And really it's for Nick's followers, because I've been talking about a housing crash for a while now. I've been very focused and frankly right on the segment that's crashing, which again is transactions, not price. But I have had no less than 50 Nick followers come out in the last 7 days and basically say Nick is right, give Nick his due, and all these things. And I'm like, well, first off, I haven't changed my opinion. I'm calling for a crash in transactions. And oh, by the way, they're already happening. I am not calling for a 30% housing crash. And I'm not saying there's a 30% housing crash already. So no, I don't think I can give Nick his opinion or his kudos, at least not yet. But Dion, you brought up something several weeks ago and have repeated it, and it hit me with Nick's last follower. We should just do some math, because if Nick's right, I will give Nick all the props in the world. Absolutely. And this is your point, Dion, about, all right, well, let's see, right? Either pay the bank or pay the seller. So Dion, this is for you. Matt, you ready to go on this?
Uh-huh.
You really have no idea what we're going to do, but
I have no idea.
We're going to build a spreadsheet together is what we're going to do. We're going to build it from scratch.
Awesome.
So here's the deal, right? So Nick has been talking about a housing crash, near as I can tell, for 2 years. So what I want to do is I want to capture data from 2020, and then I want to do my best to capture current data. Then I want to make some assumptions about pricing and drops and things of that nature. And I want to see when and if Nick might be right. You guys ready to go?
Yep.
So Dion, I'm going to ask you to do prices, and Matt, I'm going to ask you to do interest rate, because I am on my computer. So you guys have to look this stuff up. So first thing we need to know is the median home price in 2020. This is obviously a national number, Dion. So can you look that up for me? Thank you.
So 2020 median home price. We have Q1 data from 2022. So let's look up Q1 from Fred.
Yep.
$329,000 median.
Yeah, so 329,000. And Fred, for those who don't know, is basically the St. Louis Fed. So, okay, we're just going to say 329,000. Since I have you here and you already had the data for 2022, what is the median home price in 2022? I think March or Q1 is the last report.
For this year, Q1, 428,700.
Wow, that's crazy.
So we just barely missed $100,000 increase.
Okay, so first off, calling a crash 2 years ago doesn't feel like a great call to me, but that's just me. But let's look at interest rate, because again, I've been in this industry a long time. It is definitely all about payments. Maybe payments look a lot better today. And again, it's a payment industry. So maybe Nick's right. So what was the average mortgage rate in 2020, Matt?
In 2020, it was, I just wrote it, 3.10 was the average in 2020.
3.10. And I think I have this as a dollar. So let me fix this. See, this is why we're doing this real time. So 3.1, right? 3.
Yep.
Okay. And I need to go in. These are all the things. This is why I'm doing this live. So 3.1. Okay. And then what is the interest rate today?
Today is 5.85.
Oh God, that's crazy. All right. So you know what? We'll extend this out to another decimal point. What the hell? I would hate to round up.
Mm-hmm.
That would make him look bad.
That might be the difference.
That might be the difference. All right. So let's just assume, what do you guys want to assume? 10% down, 20% down? I guess probably 20% down if we're going to get the best rates, right? Why not? Is that fair?
Yeah, then we don't have to factor mortgage insurance.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see, these are why I should do this.
And it is a channel for investors.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point, actually. You know what? Let's do 25% down. Screw it. Because again, you could change all these numbers. So yeah, so this is going to be, let's just see if I can do this math real fast. So this minus this times this. Did that work? Yes. Ooh, god damn, I'm good. I really excite myself. So first thing I need to do is I need to do some more math here. Just do 12 months interest because that's what the formula is. So this is going to be equals this divided by 12, and you'll see why I need this in a minute.
Yep.
Okay, so now we're going to go in here and we're going to see if Nick's right, because we already know Nick's not right on price.
You're mistaken. There was a video that said it dropped 30%.
I know. I saw that. I don't even know how you could say that with a straight face. But he, better than me, I guess.
Maybe he's watching Housing in Afghanistan.
I don't know. All right.
A lot of people who hear about the housing crash from 2008, they don't realize people are talking about a 4-year peak to trough.
Yeah.
So they think it's possible for a crash to happen on that scale when the largest in 1 year time frame crash that we've seen across the whole market was 8.9%.
Exactly.
To say we're going to get a 30% this year just says that's a person who knows how to get views, knows how to make pretty looking charts, but doesn't understand the industry.
Yep.
Correct.
Okay, so this should work. Oh, I did it. Look, I'm so happy. All right, so the average payment in 2020, again, given the assumptions, median price, 25% down, interest rate of 3.1%, the payment would have been $1,054. Now, because we have higher prices and we have higher interest rate, that payment, thank you, Nick, is up almost 80%. So that doesn't feel like a very good call to me anyways. But this is only current. Let's play this this is really what Dion brought me. Let's assume we should be able to make this math. So let's assume this is 20.
Totally agree.
Okay. So let's just assume this is 20% and see how this plays out.
Yep.
All right. So if this is 20% drop from this number, so this will equal this. Again, this times this. Oh, this is not times. This should be minus.
This is going to make sure you're the funnest guy at the party.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a nerd. All right. So what do you guys want to assume the average interest rate? Do you think the interest rates go up or down? Again, if we're going to make assumptions, let's make assumptions.
Oh, rates are going up.
You would think, right?
I think this year, yeah, rates are going up this year.
Well, I'm going to assume a pretty 20% price drop. Let's assume that price. Well, Nick is calling it this summer, which I think he's crazy. Let's call it by December.
So let's do the math that everybody always quotes.
Okay.
And they're talking buying power, but it makes people think price.
Okay.
For every percent that the rates go up, prices will come down 10%. So if we're assuming a 20% drop, we're looking at 2 points up.
Yeah. So let's split the difference. I want to give Nick a chance. So let's say 6.85. Okay.
Okay.
I did this again. So again, see, this is what I'm trying to do. Percent. And then we'll do, okay, we got to go this way. So 6.85. Okay. We're going to assume 25% down again. We're just going to copy it this way. We're going to take this like this. Let's make sure all these numbers still make sense. Okay, look at that. So again, so let me just play this out. So 342, a little higher. Okay, so that makes sense. Now what we are going to do is we need to do this again. Okay, that makes sense. So far, it's all working.
The magic of Excel.
Oh, look at that, Nick. You had a 20% price drop. Interest rates went up 1%, not 2%, and your payment is still 60% higher. Although, if you want to look at this from a positive side, we're off from 2022 peak, I guess. I guess that's one way to look at it.
But Mike, it's going to crash 40%.
All right, well, let's see that. Let's see 40%.
We'll leave 20. You can leave 20. You can model out 40, right?
Well, I can, but I all these should just play out now. If I just change this one number. Okay, so if you're going to call a 40% crash from 2020 March or Q1, I guess was the number, you think housing is going to go down to 257.
I don't think that.
Someone else put that out there.
I think so. We all hope.
Yeah, I would hope it
Yeah,
would.
exactly.
So, let's assume rates went to 8%.
Oh, God bless it.
So again, your payment's still up from 2020. 2020 still goes down as a great year, but you're definitely down from 2022 peak. Your payment's down $450, $460. So,
And that's cutting their rate increase to equal price drop in half from what they say.
mhm.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think the other thing you got to do, Mike, is I think you got to add 2021 because it will show people the maturation of a market
Okay.
and then the crumbling of a market. And I did get the number for 21 when I was Googling the other stuff. So it was 296.
Okay, hold on. See, this is why we do this in real time. So,
And the
what-
Q1 price for median in 21 was 369.8.
okay. And that's for St. Louis. And what did you say the interest?
296, Mike. Yeah.
Okay, this like this, should copy that over. This should work also, should just copy that over. This, so what would happen? This actually might go down. Oh no, this won't work until I do this, sorry. Yeah, now that'll work, okay. All right, so we saw roughly a 10% increase, that's 40 grand, right? So maybe 12%. Interest rates went down slightly.
Yep.
Borrowing more money, basically your payment went up $100 in a year.
Yeah. Went up about 10%.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. So again, back to what Nick is calling, right? Nick is, he's kind of a broken clock saying a crash, crash, crash. So if we look at a crash now, Nick, I think Nick just said 30%. So let's go there. So Nick is basically saying the median home price in the United States is going to go down to 300. Actually, he's saying it already happened, which I'm not sure how it already happened, but that's what he's saying. But okay. So he's basically saying that we're going to get to 300 grand. I would love to see that. Let's say interest rates get to, I just want to see, let's say 7%.
I think that they're going to get to that 6, that 6 range, maybe eventually 7, maybe.
All right, let's say 6.5.
But I think what'll be most interesting is
Uh-huh.
we haven't raised rates and the pricing is through the roof. It's because of what's coming and like the unwind and like the stopping of purchasing of assets in QT. And then they're going to start selling off assets.
Yeah.
Like that's what's going to make the rate nuts, not just the raising of the rate.
Yeah.
So
So again, yeah, go ahead.
here's my point.
Mhm.
From 2020 till we're projecting a 30% crash from where we're at now.
Yes.
We're paying $29,000 less than in 2020.
Oh,
But
yeah.
if we look at rates, your payment is $1,400 instead of $1,000.
Yeah.
Right.
You're still paying more. And this is the point I was making with Mike. More money goes to the lender than to the seller.
Correct.
So waiting for a crash or correction, even from 2020, when we're looking at a price lower than 2020,
Yeah.
and the rates are what caused the price to come down,
Mhm.
you're going to pay more.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So clearly again, I've said it and the math backs it up. 2020 was the second best year out of 52 years to own a home. Anybody who called a crash in 2020 doesn't understand basic math. But let's go to where we are right now, which is June of 2022. Again, if you think rates are going up and you see a pricing crash, again, I don't see it, but he does. I mean, let's see. I mean, he was wrong for 2 years. Maybe he's right this time. I want to see what happens if it only falls 10%. Like it's not a crash, it's a correction. Oh, look at that. So if prices only drop 10%, let me make sure those math work out. It does. So
It's right.
yeah. So prices drop 10%, but rates go up slightly, not even a full percent. Your payment's $70 cheaper, which is interesting.
But anybody looking at this spreadsheet, looking to put this to work, doesn't have the same advantage he has of a rent-free basement.
Looking at pretty charts.
Because
yeah.
because that's what you have to calculate. You have to calculate the fact that, what are rents for the comparable property?
Yeah.
And that you're going to be spending that money on rent, not paying anything down, not owning anything.
Yeah. I mean, if you really believe there's a 30% crash from here, I mean, you'd be a fool not to wait. I mean, I don't see it, but I mean, it's been still, I mean, if you really believe that, do you really think housing could go to $300,000?
Let's say it does. The problem still remains. You're paying rent somewhere and you're not paying a mortgage and you don't own anything.
Yeah.
And when this happens, I'm going to have more pricing power to continue to increase my rents because I know that in bad economies, the banks tighten.
Yeah.
They
no-
tighten.
No
The,
question.
the 680 doesn't do it. The 7 doesn't do it. The 720 doesn't do it. Sometimes the 740 doesn't do it. Maybe there's a loss of a job, and then you have to worry about getting a new job, and then you need to be seasoned in that job for 2 years before the bank will even sniff you. So he's taking out all of that part of the equation, which is reality. That's what happened in 07 and 08 and 09.
Yeah. All I got to say is I would really love to see a crash of 30%. I mean, shoot, I'd love to see a crash of 70%.
While we're at it, go 80.
Yeah, why not? Right. Yeah. I mean,
80's cool.
80, yeah, it's good. Yeah. So this was interesting. So again, I think it really goes to show that 2020 was the best year ever to buy a home if you could. 2022, we have higher rates and higher prices. Affordability is an issue, all of these things. And our second video, we're going to talk about why I believe 2022 crash will be worse than 08. And we will dive into that. I think it'll be worse, not the same. I think it will absolutely be worse. And we will once again show numbers. But yeah, this was pretty interesting. I think if you really believed that the market would fall 30% and rates would go up, I get it. But it's not actually as big a difference. I mean, look at that 30% price drop. Rates go up to 7.5 and you're saving $300. I mean, that's a lot closer than I thought it would be. I would have thought a 30% drop and a higher rate would have been a much bigger payment delta, but that's
the other takeaway here is since 2013, people have been calling for a crash, but some channels in 2020 really started calling for a crash because of the pandemic.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And the eviction moratorium and the things that just sucked for that year. So if you were looking at buying the median home price at the average interest rates in 2020, your payment would be $1,054 for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
If you waited 2 years because you followed the information that was being given by channels saying there's a crash coming, wait for the crash, wait for the correction, and you finally bought a house for the median price at the current interest rates in Q1 of 2022, your payment's only $800 more.
Yeah.
For 30 years.
It's only 80% more. No big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. No big deal.
Yeah. Well, Dion, this was really for you. It's really interesting. I like numbers and math, not opinions and charts. You can, this spreadsheet can be built and changed, right? It'd be crazy. What happens if a 50% drop? Oh my God. I want to know how far they have to fall to get back to payments like
58.
Oh, you already did it?
No, I just do it
In his head.
Oh,
56.
ooh,
No, it's 54. 53.
This is fun.
53.7.
About 53%. Prices fall 53% from the peak or from Q1 2022. You will get back to roughly the same payment as 2020. That's crazy. That's insane. That's just nuts. Oh my goodness. This was fun. This was fun to do from scratch. Matt, where can people find you?
Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube and Instagram, and 11:30 a.m. Eastern times on Sunday live stream.
And Dion, yourself?
Right here on YouTube and apparently in an alcohol store. But I do my live streams Tuesday afternoons, 4 p.m. Pacific.
That's awesome. Thanks, guys.
Ciao.